everybody, I'm Caroline Zook. This is my husband, Jason Zook. We are a couple who is currently planning to travel full-time for an entire year starting in January.
Very exciting. This has been a dream for us for the past 5 years, and we are pretty stoked that it is finally arriving and we're planning for it.
Yeah, so in this video, we want to share with you 3 different ways that we're planning for our trip and also some big decisions that we kind of made along the way to plan for this big adventure, and we hope that it's helpful for you.
And if full-time travel is a big goal of yours in your life, maybe it's not feasible right now, that's okay, because half the fun of that trip is planning, and we're going to talk about that.
Hey babe, you want to do some Notion travel planning?
I've never been more attracted to you in my life. The first big decision we had to make before our trip was choosing our travel style.
The travel style that we have chosen from a Rolodex of styles that you find on Google, which just doesn't exist, is what we're calling and other people call slow travels. So we plan on staying in a city for 2 to 3 weeks and then maybe doing little day trips here and there, but we do not plan on going 24 hours to a place, 48 hours to a place, all these different places, packing all these things in. If we only get to 20 cities in 1 year, that's gonna be okay with us.
Absolutely. And then the other thing you kind of want to decide along with this style of travel is what are the types of places that you want to stay in? Like, are you trying to go all 5-star resorts?
Not us.
That'd be cool, but not us. Are you trying to go strictly hostels because you want to save as much money as possible? Also not us.
No, we're not gonna sleep next to someone's brooms in their closets or anything like that. I don't know if that's a thing,
but... We're not broom sleeping people, you know?
Yeah.
We are sort of middle of the road. We are planning to stay almost exclusively in Airbnbs unless there's like a cool hotel here or there. But we know exactly what we want in a place, somewhere that has really good light, somewhere that, you know, will be working while we're on the road. So a place to work.
Need a kitchen.
A kitchen. A washer and dryer would be great, but knowing these things ahead of time really will narrow down your search on the types of accommodations you're looking for.
Also in this category, you want to pick out the feeling that you want to have. So is that adventure? Is it relaxation? Is it city vibes? So we're trying to sort through all those different things, and we're probably going to want a mix of a bunch of them.
Yeah, for us, I think what we're looking for is kind of that smaller town, like not the big city vibes all across Europe, but like smaller towns. I'm picturing myself at a cafe. Just want that local feeling. I don't want to go do an adventure mountain trip like up a mountain.
Yeah, and we're probably not going to stay in big cities. Like Paris is not on our list. We want to go to the smaller, lesser known cities, because that leads me to the last category of choosing your travel style, which is what are the things that you want to do? And for us, we are not museum people.
We're not museum people. We just don't like the typical touristy things. Like all 4 people who love to do that and want to see like the 10 greatest things to see in X city. But I like getting lost. I like meeting locals and finding restaurants we wouldn't have found and stumbling across farmers markets like that time we were in Italy. So that's really what we're looking for.
Okay, so that wraps up the first tip, choosing your travel style. Let's get into tip number 2, pre-travel logistics.
First in this category, let's start with the schedule. How long are you gonna be gone? When do you wanna leave? I mean, luckily for us, we have a very flexible agreement with our landlord. We rent, and so we can leave whenever we want. This whole time we've had in our head to be gone for a full year. I'm not really sure why.
We both like a tidy calendar.
We like a tidy calendar.
We're a tidy calendar family around here, so 1 year just felt like the right amount of time to be on the road, travel the world, see a bunch of things.
Once you know how long you'll be gone on this trip, the logical next step is to talk about what you want to bring on your trip. So how are you going to pack?
We are a carry-on only family, so we don't plan on checking any bags if possible.
Hey babe, don't you think we should do carry-on only?
I have never been more attracted to you in my life.
But we're also not people who bring like 2 black t-shirts, 1 bar of soap, and half of a flip-flop that we're both gonna share the entire year.
I feel like a lot of the travel packing content that I've seen is like that. It's like, you only need, like this one garment can also work as a towel, but it's also a wrap.
It's also 2 socks somehow, but it's 1 garment.
I don't need all of my garments to be that multi-purpose, but we do want to kind of be somewhere in the middle. We don't want to be packing like 7 pairs of shoes. We want to only bring the essentials and make sure that like a capsule wardrobe type of style where they all mix and match so that we can get a lot of use out of them, but
don't you worry.
In the middle.
We're also gonna have a full packing video, probably a couple of them.
So that's everything that fits in 2 suitcases, but what about everything else?
All the things you can't see off camera. We've got to get rid of all this stuff, but we actually did this once before in life. We sold everything and moved clear across the country. So we're no strangers to decluttering, to downsizing. We're mostly minimalist as it is. but we are gonna get rid of everything. So that's our decision, no storage unit. We'll probably have one box of mementos, important papers that you can't get rid of, that we'll send off to a family member. But for the most part, we are getting rid of every single thing in our home before we go.
Yeah, and of course you don't have to do that. I mean, you could rent out your house.
I mean, you should though.
You should.
You should definitely.
You should do it the way we do it. You could, you know, do a storage unit. You could you have friends watch your stuff, all these different options. For us, we just love that feeling of freedom that comes with not being weighed down by stuff. Of course, it's also financially beneficial to not have to rent out a storage unit, and we just kind of love every couple of years completely decluttering and starting over from scratch.
Zook pro tip. Go through your house room by room, create something like a Notion database and write down every single thing you own, put a price tag to it, and this will get you ready to get rid of all of your stuff.
Yeah, we also highly recommend doing this like well in advance. So we're 6 months out from our trip and we are just gonna plan to sell everything gradually month by month, so we're not stressed right before we're about to leave.
The last part of your pre-travel logistics is the really, really amazing and fun doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, all these things you want to get taken care of before you go. So we're doing that, and it's definitely something you want to think about, just getting all the checkups done before you leave.
Yep, no, I don't think you have any cooties.
Can I go to my real doctor now? And then obviously a big part of this preparing for travel thing was getting vaccinated. As we're recording this, we know we're still in the middle of COVID. Even though travel has opened back up and we are allowed to travel to, you know, internationally from the United States where we live, we knew that we wanted to be vaccinated, not only to protect ourselves, but also to not be visiting these countries and being unvaccinated. So to us, that's a part of responsible travel. And as soon as we could get that nice little double shot, we did it.
Double shot. And then we're also going to be getting a virtual mailbox. We actually already did this. And we're gonna be moving all of our mail to that so that we can check it on the road, have things forwarded to an address like our parents' house probably, or our friend, so that any mail that we actually need, it'll go somewhere and we have a place for it to go.
Speaking of staying healthy while we're on the road, we are currently in the midst of researching travel insurance so that we are covered when we're traveling and we can stay healthy and not have any accidents while we're abroad.
And if we do have accidents, we'll have insurance. That's the whole point of it. Right. The other thing we're gonna have to kind of cover our butts, these are our virtual butts.
Cover your butt.
Is a VPN, and if you watch any YouTube videos anywhere, you have seen VPNs.
Longtime sponsors of my channel, NordVPN.
We're excited to be using Surfshark VPN.
VPN Battle Royale.
So we are going to pick out the one that works best for us, but this is something we just want to have in advance, know how to use it, be really comfortable with it, so we're on the road, we feel secure.
And the final category of things to think about before your full-time travel trip is what to do with your business.
We aren't living off of savings, and we're not using this as a money-making venture, so we already have businesses that are established, so that's how we're deciding our businesses are ready to go with us.
Right, so we have 2 location-independent businesses. One of them is an online business coaching program. The other one is a software product that helps you build online courses, and we plan to run both of those businesses while on the road, as I said, completely location independent. Now, of course, we know we're not gonna be able to work to the same capacity while we're traveling as we can when we're here and stationary. So there are a couple of things that we've intentionally done to prepare our business to be able to work while we're traveling.
Yeah, we've prepared our businesses so that they require less time, so
Right.
we're more efficient with the amount of time that we need to work. We know we need to get done, how much time it takes, and we can get those things done. We also have really good processes in place,
Yep.
so those have really helped us when we want to create a video, or we want to create social media stuff, or we want to work with our coaching members. We know exactly what we need to do and how we need to do it.
Yeah, we know when we get to a new city, it's gonna be really important that we can just kind of pick up where we left off, and the processes really, really help with that.
And the last thing that's really helping us prepare is that next year when we're traveling, it's not a growth year. So we're not trying to hit any big financial milestones. We're really not trying to grow at all. We're just trying to stay steady, enjoy the trip, feel calm. We can run our businesses, but not feel like we're constantly running around trying to do more and more and more.
And that's it. Those are the 3 categories of the big decisions that we're making. We're about 6 months out from our full-time year of travel, and we hope that this content was really helpful for you if you are planning a trip like that as well.
What questions do you have for us? Leave them in the comments below, because we want to get to them in future videos, because we have a bunch of travel videos we want to start making that include packing,
Yes.
selling our stuff.
Absolutely.
Where are we going? What destinations?
Great question.
What broom closets am I going to stay in? We want to show you all of those in future videos, so stay tuned for those. Leave us your questions in the comments, and happy travels.